I just came from watching the movie Sinners. Oh, deep divers, I'm about to dive deep into that and break it all down for you in a live stream after this video. In this video, I want to talk to you today about Shannon Sharpe being hit with a $50 million lawsuit. And he says this is a shakedown. Well, as a psychologist and criminologist, things they're not telling you about this Shannon Sharpe situation, we're going to go into it, okay? We got a whole lot to talk about, deep divers. I want all of you right now to hit that like button if you support the real. Hit that like button right now if you support the real, because we got a lot to talk about. Oh, yes. Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Deep divers, I woke up like this, all magical and fly, just woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Make sure you join the new Ralph Smart Patreon page for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Patreon.com/Ralph Smart Deep Divers. Click the link down below and be inspired, and go and get the brand new book, Feel Alive 2. 500 pages. Unlock Your Infinite Power by Ralph Smart. Their secret recipe to becoming your greatest version. Now available on Amazon, paperback, hardback, and at ralphsmart.com/the book. Click the link down below, deep divers, and be inspired. So, Shannon Sharpe was recently hit with a $50 million lawsuit, right? Now, why am I talking about this? Because you see, deep divers, in becoming our greatest versions, we can still learn from everything that's happening in the Matrix. Because you see, not everything that glitters is gold. And sometimes we kind of see these people and we think, oh my gosh, like, wow, not realizing that you have to be very careful when you're in that kind of position like a Shannon Sharpe, because that's when the sharks start coming for you. We're going to break it down. Deep divers, if you are watching this video, this is your confirmation. Everything is aligning for you. Everything is aligning for you, deep divers. If you're ready for that, just say thank you. Thank you. Who said that? The cat down the road? And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? So, deep divers, as a psychologist and criminologist, what do I think about this whole Shannon Sharpe situation? If you don't know who Shannon Sharpe is, he's a former NFL player. And he was recently hit with a $50 million lawsuit. And I was scratching my head like, this is crazy, right? Because it seems like there's a whole pattern of this, right? You got Jay-Z, who was accused of sexual assault, and that came out to be BS. So when I heard this story about Shannon Sharpe, I'm like, something isn't adding up, right? But there's a lesson to be learned, because you got to remind yourself, deep divers, when you're in this matrix, and you are someone in the position like Shannon Sharpe, you got to be careful. Denzel Washington told Will Smith, at your highest moment, that's when the devil comes. Slow motion this side. And you all remember the Oscars, right? So Shannon Sharpe, 56 years old, has just been slapped with a $50 million lawsuit. And he's come out saying, actually, this is all BS, right? And this interview right here, this podcast, which really broke the internet, Cat Williams, shout out to Cat Williams, going in on the age of truth, right? And this is really what kind of catapulted Shannon Sharpe into the limelight even further. But there's a lesson to be learned. You got to remind yourself, deep divers, that when you're in that position like a Shannon Sharpe, you don't want to just think everything is sweet, because the Matrix is going to send agents your way in different disguises. And that's the reason why you got people like Denzel Washington, just with his wife, makes a movie, then dips. That's how you got to roll. Because sometimes it goes to your head. The fame can go to your head. You might think that you're getting all this money, all of this success, but don't think that everything is sweet, because someone is going to come out of the woodworks and say, well, you did this and you did this and you did that. And once again, you already saw Tony Busby going after Jay-Z. Jay-Z was like, nah, you're not going to do that. So even with that whole Jay-Z situation right there, I'm like, this is BS. This is BS, because Jay-Z just shut down that whole nonsense story. And you got to remind yourself, like, when you're in a position like Jay-Z, you got to protect yourself, because you have sharks coming after you. People like Tony Busby. And Shannon Sharpe has found himself in this situation. I'll just play you the news clip, Deep Divers. Take a look at this.
Tonight, Shannon Sharpe is on the offensive. He's vowing to sue his rape accuser and attorney, Tony Busby, for defamation, who is based right here in Houston. Now, after the allegations she made against him in that lawsuit we have all heard about, the promise came just minutes after the woman's attorney, Tony Busby, released a partial audio file to TMZ Sports that he claims shows Sharpe threatening his client, who is seeking $50 million in damages. Let's take a listen.
I don't want to be, don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke out of you when I see you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do.
Now, Sharpe refutes the claim, saying he and his accuser were in a consensual relationship. His attorney claims the accuser turned down a $10 million settlement before filing the lawsuit. Before the release of the new audio, Sharpe put out a video calling the lawsuit a shakedown. Meantime, Busby claims Sharpe released a false and misleading statement through his attorney. Joining us to talk about it tonight here on The Factor, owner of Boost One Marketing, Sherry Hendrinos, attorney Simone Redwine, and Mickey Crawford McGill, the NFLPA member and NFL advisor. Glad to have you all here. Does this, Mickey, at all surprise you to see an allegation? You've worked in the NFL for years. You've been an advisor. Does this surprise you with a former athlete as well who's high profile right now?
No, not at all. I mean, the problem is when you're in the public eye, everything you do is scrutinized. You walk across the street and you get a jaywalking ticket, it makes national news. So being in that world, you have to be very vigilant about what you do and keep receipts on your own, things that you do. Very important.
And have we seen some receipts here, Simone, as an attorney,
there were some
from your
receipts
perspective?
that were released by each side. So from Shannon's side, he released some text messages that show that there's a timeline and show that even after the first alleged rape, she continued to solicit him and ask him to have sex with her and invite him over. Then there's also text messages that Attorney Busby released that show that she stated to Shannon after the second instance where she's saying, I told you no means no. It doesn't matter if all the prior times I said yes, I was crying and I said no means no.
All right, Sherry, from your perspective as a PR marketing crisis expert, and you have worked with many NFL individuals, you came from the NFL yourself, your thoughts about this, the optics, how it looks for Shannon Sharpe?
You know, it never looks good, right?
Right.
I always think perception is everything. But unfortunately, like you were saying, you know, when you're in the public eye, everything is on a microscope. I've heard crazy stories of things happening. One of a client I worked with, he was in Vegas and hanging out with a female, and she stole his wallet and his phone and tried to get him to pay her $20,000 just to get it back. Of course, that wasn't as public as this, but unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. Obviously, his PR team is immediately on it. You can tell by his statement he released. And releasing his ends. I am no lawyer like you are, but all I can do is talk about what, you know, I would do, and it's always trying to get in front of the story, you know, and try to get ahead of it.
And that's what Shannon Sharpe has done. He's come out saying, actually, this is total BS. Take a listen.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
So that's his side of the story. And to me, it looks like a shakedown. And the reason why is because, of course, you know, Shannon Sharpe, 56 years old, he was warned, like, hey, you know, you can't be rolling with these OnlyFans chicks because you're going to get set up. That's how the Matrix works, right? He was warned even by Monique, right? Monique said, hey, Shannon, take a listen to this, Deep Divers.
Come on. They talk to us. How this dating thing? Because this is Mo is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
But you tried to say that. What you tried to say? Mo,
I'm looking right at you.
I
ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me
tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do
it. Shout out to Monique. So, what do I think of this whole situation? I definitely feel it's a shakedown. At the same time, there is a lesson to be learned, because when we talk about becoming our greatest versions, you have to understand, overstand how the Matrix works. Anytime you're like a Shannon Sharpe, you've had Cat Williams on your show, biggest podcast ever in human history, you can't be caught lacking, because you got to remind yourself that you're now a target. And agents are going to be sent your way in terms of OnlyFans models, all of these people. And that's the reason why what Monique was saying is very true. When you're 56, that's a time when you got to follow what Denzel Washington is doing, right? Get a wife, just go ghost out of the Matrix. Because if you still think that people aren't going to set you up, then your head is not screwed on properly. You got to know how the Matrix works. But once again, because knowing that Tony Busby brought this claim out, I look at what Tony Busby did to Jay-Z. Humiliated him in front of his wife, Beyonce, his children. Absolutely terrible. And that Jane Doe was just lying. So that's the reason why, Deep Divers, you can't believe everything that you read or see in the media, because most of the times it's just lies, right? Don't get it twisted. These cases do happen, but a lot of the times, it's not coming from a money grab. It's not a civil suit. But a lot of these lawsuits are civil suits, meaning that they want a big bag. They want $50 million. And that's the reason why it's all a setup. And that's the reason why every single day, in becoming your greatest version, you have to protect your energy. You got to watch the company you keep. And like Denzel told Will Smith, at your highest moment, that's when the devil comes. right? They can't touch me because I'm a chosen one. And once you're in that level of consciousness, you're always protected. But once again, you can't serve two masters. If you have Cat Williams who's talking about the age of truth, you can't just, you got to move in a different way. But once again, I agree, it's probably a shakedown, but you got to be careful. Anytime you are at that level of a Shannon Sharpe, don't think that they're not going to try and set you up. Deep Divers, I just watched the Sinners movie. I'm going to break it down on a live stream. If you're ready for that, I want all of you right now to hit that like button if you support The Real. Hit that like button if you support The Real. Join the live stream. Be there, okay? And that's why I'm just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Let's breathe. Whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Join the live stream. Have your say. We're going to talk about the Sinners movie, the breakdown. I'm going to break it all down for you. And we're going to rock and roll straight after this video. So watch this, then join the live stream. Or just watch the live stream, Deep Divers. Peace. Infinite Waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Once again, Deep Divers, I want all of you right now to hit that like button if you support The Real, share this video. Hit that like button right now if you support The Real, share this video. And leave a comment down below of gratitude and appreciation. 1.